The Galactic Unity School was known for peace and order. It was a place where students from many planets came to learn together. The school had rules, TOCCOM teachers, and advanced classes. Every race followed strict codes of behavior. No one shouted. No one fought. Students solved problems with quiet talks and careful words. Then one day, a new student arrived. Her name was Claire Morgan. She was from Earth. The computer system had listed her as a Deathworlder. The word spread through the school in seconds. Whispers echoed through the halls. Deathworlders were not normal. They came from planets full of danger, wild animals, and hard lives. Most aliens had never seen one in real life. Many had only read about them in security reports. Claire had short brown hair and calm blue eyes. She wore the standard student uniform, but her walk was different. It was strong. It was confident. Some said it was like watching a soldier walk into battle. Her first day started in the gym class. Coach Varak, a tall green-skinned Travakian, stood near the entrance. He was a strict instructor who expected order, but even he looked unsure. When Claire walked in, the gym was large. It had running tracks, climbing walls, and energy fields for flight practice. Aliens of many shapes and sizes floated, crawled, and glided across the space. Most were fragile compared to Earth's standards. Some could fly, others could stretch, but few were strong or fast. Claire walked to the line where students waited. Zahn, a thin insectoid from Gilkara, leaned over to his friend. "That is the human," he said. "She has bones made for fighting. They say her muscles are dense. She may break the equipment." His friend, Lena, from the water world Vasa, looked scared. "She looks calm. That is the worst kind of dangerous." Coach Varak clapped his hands. "Warm up 2 laps." Students began, floating, crawling, or jogging slowly. Claire ran. Her steps were fast and heavy. She passed the others like they were standing still. Her breathing stayed steady. She finished both laps before some had completed one. Coach Varrock blinked twice. "Human," he said. "You are ahead of the group. Walk to cool down." Claire nodded and followed the command without complaint. She stood at the side, arms crossed, waiting. The next exercise was wall climbing. The goal was to reach the top of the simulation wall, a vertical surface that shifted as you climbed. Most students took 5 minutes or more. Some fell and had to try again. Claire stepped forward when her turn came. She placed her hands on the wall. Then she climbed. She did not stop. She did not slip. Her arms and legs moved fast and sure. In seconds, she was at the top. Then she climbed back down, jumped to the ground, and waited. Silence followed. Even Coach Varrock needed a moment to speak. "Good. Next." Zahn was next. His limbs trembled. He tried to climb, but fell halfway. The wall had changed its shape. It confused his motion. Claire looked at him and said nothing, but her calm stare made Zahn feel small. After climbing, it was time for dodge training. Students stood in a circle. The drone fired soft energy balls. The goal was to dodge or block without falling. Aliens used their light bodies and quick reflexes. Claire stood tall, not even in a full stance. The drone fired. Claire stepped once and caught the ball. She threw it back. The drone stopped moving. Coach Varrock raised his hand. "That is not allowed. Please follow rules. Do not attack the drone." Claire lowered her hand. "Sorry, sir. I thought it was part of the test." Some students stepped away from her. Others watched from behind cover. At lunch, no one sat near her. Claire took her food and sat alone. Across the room, Lena whispered to Zahn. She is strong, but she is also polite. That is strange. Zahn nodded. Yes, she is not trying to scare anyone, but she is still scary. Later that day, a small accident happened near the stairwell. A large creature from planet Drox had slipped. It cried out. Its leg was trapped under a heavy metal bar from the tool rack. Students screamed. No one knew what to do. Claire arrived at the scene. She saw the hurt alien. She bent down, grabbed the metal bar, and lifted it without effort. The injured student looked up with wide eyes. You saved me, the Droxian said. Claire helped him stand. She did not speak much. She just made sure he was okay and left. By the end of the day, everyone at the school knew her name. Claire Morgan, the Deathworlder from Earth. Not loud, not mean, but powerful. That night, alien. Students whispered in their rooms. Some were scared, some were curious, others wanted to talk to her but did not dare. Zahn looked out the window and spoke quietly. She could break this place, but she doesn't. Lena nodded. That is what makes her the most dangerous of all. And so the first day ended, and everyone knew gym class would never be the same again. Let me know when you're ready for part 2. Or, if you'd like this as a downloadable document file, .2/2 tools, ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info, A. The second day at the Galactic Unity School began early. Students moved through the halls, talking in quiet voices. Everyone was still thinking about Claire Morgan, the human girl from Earth. Some students stayed away from her. Others watched her from a distance. No one knew what she would do next. Claire walked into the gym again. Her face was calm. She did not smile or frown. She looked like she was ready for work. Coach Varak was already there, looking at his datapad. He gave a short nod when he saw her. Today was group training. Students were placed into teams of 5. Each team had to go through a set of challenges together. It was a test of teamwork, balance, and trust. Coach Varak read out the names. Team 1s are in Lena, Juro, Baba, Claire. The students looked around. Zahn and Lena froze. Claire walked toward them without saying anything. Pava, a small furry creature from Kaloon, looked nervous. Juro, a tall thin alien with glowing eyes, looked at Claire and said, "Let's get this done." The first challenge was the moving platform. The team had to cross a series of floating panels that moved in different directions. If one fell, the whole team failed. ZRN went first. He moved slowly. His long legs shook. Lena followed light on her feet. Juro crossed without trouble. Pava slipped but grabbed the edge. Claire moved last. She watched the platform carefully. Then she stepped forward. Her balance was perfect. She walked fast, but not too fast. When she reached Pava, who was still hanging, she reached down and pulled. Hem up with one hand. They crossed. That was easy, Juro said. Next one, the second challenge, was harder. They had to push a heavy metal ball up a slope while avoiding falling blocks. It took strength and timing. Zahn and Juro tried first but could not move the ball fast enough. Pava was too small. Lena helped, but it was not enough. Claire stepped forward. "Let me help," she said. She placed both hands on the ball. Her arms tensed. She pushed. The ball moved. It rolled up slowly. She kept pushing, step by step, until it reached the top. The blocks fell, but Claire dodged them. Her team followed close behind. "How is she that strong?" Pava asked. Zarn answered. She's a Deathworlder. Her planet is full of danger. Her kind had to become strong just to survive. The final challenge was a reaction test. The team had to press glowing buttons that appeared around a large circle. Each button only stayed lit for 2 seconds. If they missed one, they had to start over. The team spread out. Buttons began to flash. Everyone ran, jumped, and reached. Claire moved fast, pressing the buttons before they faded. She saw ones that others missed and ran to cover them. Her speed was faster than anyone had seen. The buzzer rang. The challenge was complete. Coach Varak clapped his hands once. Team won. First place. Juro smiled. Parva cheered. Zarn and Lena looked at Claire. Thanks, Lena said. We would not have passed without you. Claire nodded. We did it together. After class, students began talking to her. Juro asked her about Earth. Claire told him about forests and animals, about storms and ice. Parva asked if she had really fought a wild bear. Claire said no, but she had seen one. Lena and Zarn stayed quiet, but they listened later that day. Claire went to the library. She wanted to study alone, but when she sat down, Parva and Juro joined her. Then Zarn and Lena came too. They worked on an assignment together. Claire helped explain the answers. She was not only strong, she was smart. For the first time, she smiled. Outside, other students watched. A few came closer. They wanted to know more about Claire. They wanted to see if the stories were true. One student, Rin from the moon of Savi, walked up to her. They say you can lift a transport shuttle. Is that true? Claire shook her head. No, I can't do that. Rin looked confused. But you lifted Brax out from under a machine. Claire said, that was different. Brax needed help, so I helped. The answer made many students think. Over the next few days, more students talked to Claire. Some were still scared, but most were curious. They asked questions. They invited her to games. Some even asked her to join their study groups. Coach Varak watched all of this from a distance. He spoke to another teacher. The human is strong, he said, but she does not use that strength to lead with fear. That is rare. The other teacher nodded. She could change how these students see Earth. And so the days passed. Claire continued her training. She joined in more group work. She spoke more. She helped others. And slowly the fear began to fade. Students still knew she was strong, but now they also saw she was kind, calm, and fair. Claire, Morgan, the Deathworlder, was no longer just the strange human from Earth. She was becoming something else. She was becoming a friend. The school week moved forward. By now, everyone knew Claire Morgan's name. She was not just the new girl from Earth. She was the human who ran faster, climbed higher, and moved like a fighter. But she did not brag. She did not speak much. She only helped when help was needed. In the halls, students gave her nods. Some smiled. A few even waved. This was new. Claire noticed it, but did not let it change her. One morning, Coach Varak stood in the gym with a serious look. Today's challenge. Day, he said. You will all enter the team's survival room. Your goal is to complete all 3 levels together. You must work as a group. Students looked around. Many were excited. Some were nervous. The survival room was like a small world. It had wild terrain, moving traps, and puzzles. It tested the mind and body. Coach Varak read the teams. Claire was placed with Lena Zarn, Darnek and Parva. Darnek gave a loud laugh. "This will be fun," he said. Claire gave him a small nod. "We should plan before we start," Zahn agreed. "Yes, we must move as one. That is how the test is built." The doors opened. The team stepped inside. At once, the doors closed. Behind them, lights turned red. A voice came from the speaker above. "Level 1, Rock Valley." The ground shook. The walls moved. The floor opened to show a large canyon filled with sharp stones and tall cliffs. Wind blew hard. The goal was clear. They had to cross the valley without falling. Parva looked scared. "I don't like heights." Claire bent down beside him. "Hold my arm, I'll help you." The group moved forward. Lena jumped between the stones. Zahn moved carefully. Darnak used his strength to lift others when needed. Claire helped Parva over every gap. She guided him slowly. Halfway across, the wind grew stronger. Zahn lost his footing and almost slipped. Claire reached out fast and pulled him back. He looked at her, breathing hard. "Thanks, I was almost gone." "You're safe," Claire said. They reached the end. A new door opened. Level 2, ice tunnel. Cold air hit their faces. The ground turned white. The walls were covered in frost. The tunnel ahead was narrow and full of icy traps. One wrong step could trigger a fall or wall slide. Darnak stepped forward but slipped. Claire grabbed him and pushed him back. "Step only where the ice is thin," she said. "Thick ice means a trap." "How do you know that?" Lena asked. "We have frozen rivers on Earth," Claire said. "I've walked on them." She moved ahead, tapping the ground with her foot. She showed the others how to step. They followed her path. Slowly, carefully, they passed through the tunnel. Near the end, one wall started to fall. Parva shouted. Claire pushed him out of the way and took the hit on her shoulder. She stayed on her feet. The others helped her steady. "You okay?" Zahn asked. "I'm fine," Claire said. They reached the final door. It opened to a bright room. Level 3, puzzle circle. The room had 5 circles on the floor and walls full of symbols. A glowing sphere floated in the middle. Lena stepped forward and looked at the symbols. "This is language code. We must speak the right word to unlock the door." Zahn joined her. "Yes, but one wrong word resets the puzzle." They looked at the sphere. It showed the image of a mountain, then a wave, then fire. Claire stepped forward. "It's Earth code." They all turned to her. "I know these. It's from one of our oldest tests. I've seen it before. It's elements." She pointed to the symbols. "Stone, water, flame. The order is balance." She spoke the words in Earth tongue. The sphere glowed. The door opened. "You solved it," Lena said. "I remembered the pattern," Claire said. They stepped through. The room turned white. A soft bell rang. The test was over. They were back in the gym. Coach Varric looked at them. "First team to finish, and no errors. Well done." Darnak raised both arms. "We crushed it," Zahn smiled. "We worked like a real team." Lena patted Claire's shoulder. "We followed you. You led us." Claire shook her head. "No, we worked together." The rest of the class watched them. Students who once avoided Claire now saw her in a new way. Not just strong, not just fast. She was a leader. She was careful. She helped the small. She guided the unsure. Later that day, in the lunch hall, Claire sat at her usual spot. But this time, her table was full. ZR, Lena, Darnik and Parva sat with her. Others came by and asked questions. Did you really fight off a falling wall? Is Earth really that cold? Do you eat meat from wild animals? Claire answered them all, simple, clear, honest, at another table. Two teachers watched. She is changing the school, one said. She is showing them what Earth really is, said the other. That night, across the station, students spoke her name with respect, and for the first time, many no longer saw a Deathworlder. They saw a friend. The next week brought something new. A message arrived at the Galactic Unity School. It came from the High Council of Interplanetary Youth. Every year, they held a special event. It was called the Unity Games. The Unity Games were not about winning. They were about teamwork, speed, and how students from different planets could work together. Teams from many schools would come to compete in small events and large challenges. Coach Varric read the message to the class. Our school has been invited. One team of 5 will go. They will face other students from across the galaxy. They must show respect, strength, and courage. The gym buzzed with excitement. Everyone wanted to go. Coach Varric raised a hand. I will choose the team I want. Balance. I want heart, not just power. The next day, the list was posted. The names were Claire Morganlina Zandok. One was surprised. They had seen the team in the survival room. They had seen what they could do. Claire looked at the list but said nothing. Lena smiled. We're doing this. Zahn looked serious. It won't be easy. These are the best students from other systems. Darnek laughed. Let them come. Parva looked nervous but excited. A week later, they arrived at the event station. It was much larger than their school. Lights flashed. Ships from every part of the galaxy came in and out. Students in many colors, shapes, and sizes filled the halls. The first day was simple. Teams met each other. They shook hands. They shared small stories. Some students looked at Claire with wide eyes. They had heard the stories. They whispered. When she passed, that's the Earth girl. She fought off a falling wall. They say she can lift a tree. Claire ignored the words. Lena walked beside her. Let them talk. We'll show them what's real. The next day, the first event began. It was called the Balance Bridge. The goal was to cross 5 floating bridges that changed shape. One wrong step and the player would fall into soft foam and lose points. Lena went first. She used her light feet to move fast. She slipped once, but made it. Zahn used his strong legs and good eyes to find the right path. Parva followed slowly, shaking but careful. Then came Darnek. He was heavy, and the bridges shook under him. He almost fell twice, but managed to stay up. Claire went last. The crowd watched. She moved forward, not too fast, not too slow. When the bridges shifted, she jumped with perfect timing. She reached the end first. No slips. A judge walked over and handed her a blue card. Perfect balance, full score. The team cheered. More. Events came. Some were about running, others tested logic. One event was a race through water tunnels. Lena led that one. In every event, Claire's team worked as one. They spoke clearly. They followed plans. They helped each other, but not all teams were. Friendly, one team, from the planet Vordak, watched them closely. Their leader, a tall student named Krell, looked at Claire during break. You are the human, he said. Yes, Claire replied. You think you are strong, but you are not the only one who comes from a hard world. Claire looked at him. I never said I was. Krell stepped closer. We will see what you were made of in the last event. Claire said nothing. She walked away. That night, her team sat together. He doesn't like us, Parva said. He feels challenged. Zahn replied. We're not here to fight anyone, Claire said. We're here to do our best. The final event was announced the next morning. It was the team maze, a large, shifting maze filled with traps, puzzles, and small fights. Every team would go in alone. The goal was to reach the center in the fastest time. The team that finished first would win the gold mark. Claire's team entered the maze with sharp focus. Lena led at first, guiding them through narrow turns. Zahn read the signs. Parva found clues hidden in walls. Darnek broke open blocked paths. Claire kept them moving. Halfway in, they reached a trap zone. Spikes came up from the floor. Gas filled the room. A door started to close. Run, Claire said. They ran. Parva tripped. Claire turned back, picked him up, and carried him out. You okay? She asked. Parva nodded, shaking at the center of the maze. Another team was already there. It was Krell's team. They had reached the last platform. But something was wrong. One of their team members was trapped under a heavy beam. The others had left him to claim the prize. Claire stopped. We can help, she said. Lena looked unsure. But if we stop, we'll lose. Claire said, he's hurt. We help first. They ran to the fallen student. Darnek lifted the beam. Claire pulled the student out. Krell stood at the finish line and watched. He did not move to help his teammate. When Claire's team reached the end, the buzzer sounded. Time was up. They did not win, but the judges had seen everything. At the award ceremony, a voice came from the speakers. One team showed more than skill. One team showed honor. Claire's team was called up. You did not win by speed, but you won respect. The council gives you the Unity Honor Badge. The crowd clapped. Claire stood quiet as the medal was placed around her neck. She looked at her team. Zahn smiled. We did what was right. Darnek said, best day ever. Lena looked at Claire. You showed them what humans really are. And Claire nodded, not with words, but with action. She had come as a stranger, but now she was something more. The Unity Games had ended, but the story of Claire Morgan and her team was just beginning. News of what happened in the final event spread quickly. Videos showed Claire helping a rival student instead of rushing to win. On every channel, students and teachers from different systems talked about the human girl who chose kindness over victory. When Claire and her team returned to the Galactic Unity School, the halls were different. Students from every species waved to them. Some clapped, others just smiled as they passed. Darnek grinned. It's like we're heroes. Lena nodded. They're proud of us. Zahn said, no, they're proud of her. He looked at Claire. Claire looked straight ahead. She didn't speak much, but she noticed everything. Coach Varrock met them at the gate. You showed the meaning of strength, he said. You earned more than a trophy. You earned trust. That week, a new training unit was added to the gym. It was named Team Balance. It included lessons on strength, control, and helping others. Claire's team was asked to lead the first session. Claire stood in front of a group of young students. One student, a small creature from a low-gravity moon, asked her, "Are all humans like you?" Claire shook her head. No, every person is different, but on Earth, we learn to survive. We learn to work together. Another student asked, Were you scared when the trap hit you in the ice tunnel? Yes, Claire said. But I moved anyway. That's what matters. We move forward. The students nodded. Later, Claire walked to the garden area of the school. She liked it there. It was quiet. Trees from many planets grew there. The wind was soft. Lena joined her. We've come far, Lena said. Claire nodded. You changed the school, Lena said. Claire looked at her. We all did. From a distance, other students watched Claire. They didn't see her as dangerous anymore. They didn't call her a Deathworlder with fear in their voice. They saw someone strong, smart, and fair. Zaan and Pava arrived. Darnik followed with snacks in hand. I brought food, Darnik said. We earned a break. They all sat under a tree. Do you think we'll get cold again? Pava asked. Maybe, Zaan said. But even if we don't, people will remember. What we did, Claire said. I just wanted to learn and train. I didn't plan to stand out. Darnik laughed. Well, you did. The next day, something new happened. A message arrived from the Central Academy on Earth. It was addressed to Claire. It came from a famous school where only the best humans trained for intergalactic peacekeeping missions. Claire read the message and stayed silent for a while. What is it? Lena asked. They want me to return, Claire said. They want me to join the advanced unit. The group grew quiet. That's big, Zaan said. It's an honor. Claire nodded. But it means I'll have to leave here, she said. Nobody said anything for a moment. Finally, Pava asked, Will you go? Claire looked at her friends. I don't know yet, she said. This place became home too. Later that evening, Claire walked through the school alone. She looked at the gym where it all began. She remembered her first run, her first match, the way others avoided her. She walked past the learning halls, the library, the food court. Each place held memories, not of fear, but of change. That night, she sat in her room and thought about her choice. In the morning, she gave her answer. I will go, Claire told Coach Varric. I want to learn more. I want to grow, he nodded. You're ready? The school planned a farewell for her. It wasn't loud. It wasn't full of music. It was simple. Her friends spoke about what she had done, not just in gym class, but everywhere. You made us believe in strength with purpose, Lena said. You turned fear into friendship, Zaan said. You helped me believe I could be brave, Pava said. And you still owe me one more race, Darnik said with a smile. Claire stood at the front and looked at them all. I came here to train. I didn't expect to find a team or friends, but I did. And I'll never forget that. They gave her a medal, not from the school, not from the council. It was a small metal plate. It said, Strength is not what you show, it is what you share. Claire left the Galactic Unity School with her bag on her back and her head high as her ship lifted off. Students stood by the window and watched. Zedar spoke quietly. They were scared of her once. Lena said, now they wish she stayed. And on many worlds, the story of the Deathworlder who came to gym and changed everything was told again and again. She came from Earth, the hardest world, but she brought more than power, she brought heart, and no one forgot her name. Claire Morgan.